Welcome. I am Emir, and let's look back in hindsight. I would like to thank Victor Matrosov, who helped me in my research for today's topic. Since I do not speak nor understand Russian, without his translations and additional inputs, this video would not have been possible. I would also like to thank Kyusaka, the author of what I will talk about today, for answering my questions. To Victor and Kyusaka, thank you. Today marks a new chapter for my channel. For the first time, I will talk about anime. Okay, anime-inspired, anime-influenced, anime style, not exactly anime. I'm not an anime fan. I abstain from anime because that's what makes my sister happy. I don't want to take that away from her. I keep teasing her that I would be watching Boku no Hero Academia. But I won't. Anime's her thing. All things Land of the Rising Sun are her thing. Not mine. Of course, there are exceptions. Someday, I hope to be able to talk about them. For now, I'll be talking about not an anime, which apparently is strictly used to refer to Japanese animated movies or television shows. I'm settling for a visual novel this time. A visual novel is the next step in the evolution of a choose-your-own-adventure book. Visual novels use anime-style graphics owing to its Japanese origin. You can read the Wikipedia articles for more information or watch this video on the right. I said earlier that visual novels originated in the Land of the Rising Sun. But we're not going there today. Instead, we take a trip to nearby Russia. Join me as I talk about a Russian visual novel which stars an American. Sure, why not? Samantha Smith. I've talked about her before. You may watch that video if you want an introduction. Today, we take a deep dive into a possible answer for the most often asked question about her. What would have happened to her had she lived? When I wrote a post about that in January 2015, I was not aware of this. 5 years passed before I finally discovered it on Reddit in pre-lockdown January 2020. That seems so long ago now. This isn't the first video on this mod. This isn't even the first English one. That honor belongs to. But hey, we can all use another English video, which goes into why this mod was made, who made it, and which ties both the historical figure and the visual novel mod character she inspired. Since this is a mod, I first have to talk about the original game, a visual novel called Everlasting Summer. According to Wikipedia, and I quote, Everlasting Summer is a visual novel produced by Russian game developer Soviet Games that tells the story of a 25-year-old man living in modern Russia who finds himself mysteriously transported to a summer camp somewhere in the Soviet Union. It was originally produced in Russia and was first released in December 2013. The English translation was released in November 2014 when the game was made available on Steam. The story of the game involves, and again, I quote Wikipedia, "What? There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Semyon is a reclusive 25-year-old. Semyon is a reclusive 25-year-old living in a large city somewhere in the early 21st century Russia, spending most of his time in his flat, interacting with others on his computer, and earning enough to keep the bills paid. One winter day, he boards a bus to attend a reunion, falls asleep along the way, and awakens to find it's now summer, and he's dropped off at the front gates of a place called Sovyonok, quote-unquote, outlet in Russian. Semyon soon discovers it is a pioneer camp populated by youth, including several attractive girls who show interest in him. Furthermore, he has reverted to his 17-year-old self, and it is now the mid-1980s Soviet Union. This isn't the first time I talk about time travel on my show, and spoilers, it won't be the last. In the days that follow, Semyon must navigate the relationships and possibly find love with the various people he encounters, while trying to solve the mystery of how and why he was brought to this place and how to escape and return to his former life once it becomes evident he may be trapped in a time loop. In short, Everlasting Summer is both a dating simulator and a mystery thriller. Samantha is not a character in the original visual novel. Rather, she stars in a fan-made modification of Everlasting Summer called Samantha. I'll call the mod the Samantha mod to avoid any confusion. The main website of the mod describes the story in Russian. In English, it reads, "The first American pioneer is here, next to Semyon. Semyon? Sometimes even closer than he would like. It remains only to befriend her, because even the most famous girl in the world sometimes needs help and care." Development of the Samantha mod took place from the spring of 2014 up to the autumn of 2016. At least for the Russian version. The English version is still in development. In the beginning, only one person, Kyusaka, worked hands-on, full-time on the project. Some time would pass before Kyusaka's friend, Tiki, or SX, joined the project. I quote Kyusaka, "He did all the complex backgrounds and art, almost everything, for the mod. I also asked him to draw the Stop the War poster." Tiki is not the first artist for the mod. I found this out because I asked Kyusaka why the Samantha character had blue hair. Seriously, I was curious. Kyusaka answered, and I quote, "Back in the time when I had no artist friends, and I didn't know where to get them, I had a friend who knew a girl with some design skills, and he offered me to ask her to draw Samantha for the mod to use it as a sprite. So that girl drew Samantha with blue hair. I don't know why. Smiley face. The image that she drew was kinda strange. Open parenthesis, even scary. Close parenthesis. But I started to make another picture based on that image. And then another. All of them had blue hair. Why not? I think it fits ES art style well. Kyusaka also sent me an early, though not the first version of the Samantha sprite. Before Tiki/SX, early designs of the mod were based on the works of artists who wanted to help Kyusaka. All computer graphics were made non-professionally, meaning amateur, except one from the artist with the nickname Orika, accent on O. Then Tiki/SX joined the Samantha mod project, and the rest, as they say, is history. Many others then helped with technical details and with translating the mod to English. The mod's author, Kyusaka, claims he isn't a history buff. So why did he make a mod based on a historical person? According to Victor, and I quote, "In the final credits of the mod, Kyusaka noted, Samantha is our main inspiration." In the frequently asked questions portion of the mod's website, Kyusaka stated, and again, well, you know the drill. I remembered Samantha in the context of Everlasting Summer. I have never joined any fan club of Samantha and would not want to get too imbued with her sad story. Maybe. But when I thought of creating the mod for Everlasting Summer, Samantha, open parenthesis, and her story, close parenthesis, was perfect. Although the setting of the original game is quite adult and cynical, Samantha is directly connected with the pioneer movement, and her story itself is unusually touching. And even the time frame was proper. There was no doubt to choose her story. Victor summarizes Kyusaka's answer, and ditto. Samantha's story is very touching, and it's perfect in the setting of Everlasting Summer. In the story of the mod, the plane crash never happens. According to Victor, and I quote, "I guess it is so because of Samantha's visit to the Sovienok summer camp in this alternate timeline, while the real Samantha was starring in Lime Street, or more accurately, shooting episodes for Lime Street." Kyusaka then told me I didn't want to repeat the same trick with my mod to kill an angel to make everyone grieve. I nourished the idea that I am doing some healing job with my story, open parenthesis, apart from the entertainment, of course, close parenthesis. Like, let's make things right. End quote. For my part, though Sam didn't deserve to die so young, I personally believe that she lived a full life, even if it was short. Still, I find alternate history scenarios about her fascinating. And after reading a lot of American alternate history scenarios, it's refreshing to hear a Russian's take on the subject. Let's now go to the story of the Samantha mod. I wonder what Samantha's mom thinks about all this.